My name is Keith Hayes. I am chairman of the ONF-RHI Quality of Life Committee, and part of my portfolio is to manage the partnership with the Rick Hansen Institute. I've been asked about the impact of ONF on my own research, and the very first thing that comes to mind is that the nimble and flexible funding arrangements that are provided and the partnering with the major organizations has enabled me and a group of collaborators to participate in an international multi-center trial on the factors that contribute to pressure ulcers in people with spinal cord injury. The second issue that I've been asked to speak to is what do I view as the greatest contributions of ONF over the last little while. And clearly the first thing that comes to mind is funding for spinal cord injury research is critical, and there are not many other organizations that have the same commitment, the same level of funding to support the very important work. Part of this is the fact that ONF also has a very important funding model that takes research through to practice and funds projects along that continuum. So that's a very important contribution. Many other agencies will fund research but don't necessarily follow it through to practice. ONF's success has largely come around at the partnerships that it's formed with Rick Hansen organization, international partners, and by enabling networking within the province through our Ontario Spinal Cord Injury Research Network, which brings together clinicians and researchers from the 5 academic health centers in the province. And clearly, networking and partnering with organizations like that enables much better quality research than can be done by any single individual or individual center. The last question I've been asked is about my hopes for ONF in the next little while. Clearly, it's very important to sustain the funding for research and best practice implementation because there are no other key partners in the province that provide this level of support to enable our very talented clinicians and researchers to advance knowledge. I think an important contribution in the future will also be what we call capacity building, and that is nurturing young, best and brightest future generations of researchers. Clearly, the work has to continue, and it's through support of bright young minds that will enable progress to be made. And I think the final thing that I would like to see for ONF over the next little while is a much greater recognition by society and by government of the outstanding work that ONF does with its many talented contributors, both in the administrative staff as well as the partnerships with clinicians and researchers throughout the province.